My name is Mark Emmerson. I work within the Biodiversity and Ecotoxicology Research Group at University College Cork within the Environmental Research Institute. So behind me you can see the GERA, and the GERA for me is an exploratory. It's a bit like an open air laboratory where we carry out ecological research. The GERA has a long history. It was back in the mid-1960s. The GERA was a mixed deciduous woodland which was clear fell by the ESB to make way for the River Lee hydroelectric scheme. So the lock on the lake that you can see behind me is really an artificial system that has been in existence for about the last 45 years. One of the reasons for bringing you here today is to show you the kind of impacts that humans can have on the natural environment, and consequently the kinds of impacts that we might have on the natural biodiversity in the world around us. For many people, biodiversity is a very nebulous quantity, but in fact it's very easily defined. Biodiversity refers to the variety of life in the world around us, and we can quantify that at a range of scales, from genetic through to species through to ecosystems. And so one of the aspects of work that I am very much interested in, which my research group at the Environmental Research Institute focuses on, are the consequences of biodiversity change for the way in which ecosystems work and function, and how humans interact with biodiversity and drive biodiversity change. One of the attractive aspects of the GERA as an outside laboratory, an exploratory, is you can see behind me are the petrified tree stumps of the trees that are emerging from the water. Now, back in the 1960s, when the GERA was felled, these trees would have created a mosaic of water channels that ran through the River Lee Valley. And in the process they create small islands, and it's these small islands that we find very, very useful and attractive for carrying out experimental work on. The islands, because they are small and discrete units, can be used to explore the consequences of biodiversity change for ecosystem processes like decomposition, primary productivity, and these are very, very important processes which human society benefits from. Whilst the GERA is an exploratory and outside laboratory, we have parallel facilities at the Environmental Research Institute funded by the Higher Education Authority in Ireland. And we use these laboratory-based facilities to carry out experiments in more controlled conditions that parallel the kinds of experiments that we carry out here in the field, using sites like the GERA, but also other sites around the coastline of Ireland. We use Loch Hyne as an exploratory as well. We also use ponds out in the west of Kerry where natterjack toads breed, and we also work on agricultural systems, looking at the impacts and effects of agricultural management on biodiversity in agricultural landscapes.